All right, guys, it's been so good to see some of you back at school. For those that aren't back at school, hopefully you're watching this video, and we're going to start talking about polyatomic nomenclature today. So, get out a notebook, and I'd start writing down the title of this. This top part here is just the definition, which you already should have in your notes, so you don't have to write that down if you already have this in your notes when we talked about bonding. Also, over here, this list you don't need to write in your notes either. I'm going to give you a sheet on your test that's going to have some of these in there. This is just for the purpose of this video. I wrote some examples here, but like I said, don't write those down. You'll have a piece of paper. It's going to be in a link that you'll click on that you can always use for any assignment or test, okay? Because I'm not going to make you memorize any of these. So, like I said, we're talking about polyatomic nomenclature today. So, the definition of polyatomic, they're a group of atoms with a charge that can be used in ionic bondings. So, we're going to start talking about groups now. So, you'll see down here in the examples, it's a whole group of atoms. So, it's not just one atom anymore. It's not just Br. It's not just O. It's now BrO3 that are found together when they're bonded with something else. They're also used in ionic bonds. So, you'll notice that they have a charge on them. Right up here. So they're going to be used in ionic bonding to bond with another element. And it's going to be either a positive element or a negative element. All the polyatomic atoms besides one that we talked about is going to be negative. So usually it'll be a negative element, or this will be the negative polyatomic ion, and we're going to bind it with a positive element for the most part, okay? So we're going to do the exact same thing we've done with all of the other examples in class, all the other nomenclatures. Is I'm going to either give you symbols, and you're going to have to write the name, or I'm going to give you the name, and you're going to have to write the symbols, all right? So let's do a couple practice problems. So one example of a symbol that I could give you, or a formula I could give you, would be Li2CO3. And I would ask you to give me the name of this. So you'll notice that right here we have a metal, and it is bonded with a polyatomic ion right there, the CO3. So that, since it's C and O together, it's polyatomic, and so it will be two elements combined to form one. So let's first start with this Li for our naming. So just like all the other names, your first name stays the same. So Li on your periodic table will be lithium. And then, usually, we have to do some changing for the second part. But for this second part of the name, you just have to go to your table and find what the name is for CO3. So for this, it's going to be carbonate. And you just write carbonate. You don't have to change it at all. So these ones are a little bit nice because you never have to change the ending to "ide" or anything weird like that. You just go to your table and you find carbonate there. Okay, let's do one more example. Another one I could give you is something like this, Mg, and then we're going to do BrO3, and it's going to be two of them. So when I put parentheses like I did over this whole thing, that means BrO3, there's two of the molecule. So there's two of those and one Mg. So take a second and see if you can figure it out. I pause the video. I'm going to keep going. So Mg on my periodic table is magnesium. And then BrO3, if I find it here on my periodic or on my list, it's going to be bromate. So magnesium bromate. So that's how we do the naming. Pretty simple. It's easier than what we've been doing, so hopefully that's making sense to you. So now we're going to do it. If I give you the name, you're going to have to write the formula for me. So let's look at our practice one. Let's start off with calcium. And let's do nitrate. So the very first thing, like we did with transition metals, is you write down the symbol and the charge for each of these, okay? So calcium symbol is Ca, and its charge is +2. Nitrate, you can just look at your list right here. So nitrate is NO3, and it's going to be a -1. So now we do what we've been doing with the other ones. We're going to cross, drop, and simplify. So we're going to cross these down and drop them. So you'll see now that your Ca is going to get the 1 and your NO3 is going to get the 2. So we have Ca, it's going to have a 1. Remember, we don't have to write the 1 when we write our formula down, so it's just Ca. And then we're going to have NO3, and then it needs to have a 2. So remember how we put the parentheses up here? So when it's something that's not just a 1, when it's going to be a 2 or a 3 of something, you have to put a parenthesis around it and then put your 2 to say that whole thing is 2, not just the O, okay? So Ca, and then in parentheses, NO3, out of parentheses, put the 2. Let's do one more example, and then hopefully you'll feel comfortable enough to do your homework. Let's do sodium and phosphate. So take a second, pause the video to do it. I'm going to keep moving on. So sodium is going to be an Na with a +1 charge. Phosphate, I can look here and see that it's PO4 with a -3 charge. So again, we're going to cross and drop them. And we're going to get Na3PO4. Since it's a 1, you don't have to do any parentheses or put any other numbers. Alright, so that's basically what you're going to do for your homework and on the test. The only other thing is on your homework, it's going to ask you to circle ones that are polyatomic compounds. And so, for example, it'll give you a list of words. One of them would be like magnesium nitrate is an example. And another example is potassium chloride. So think in your head, which one of those is one that contains a polyatomic ion? One of the giveaways is right here. This one says nitrate, and this one's chloride. Remember, chloride is when we change it for other ones. Nitrate is actually a polyatomic ion. So you'll see right here, it's a polyatomic ion, nitrate. So you'll know that this one, you would circle this one for being your polyatomic ion and not that one, okay? Don't circle that one. So you'll have to circle some in a list of things that are polyatomic. It also might give you just the formula, so it might say which one out of these is a polyatomic compound, and it might give you like NaCl, and it might give you like CuSO4, and it might give you like KBr, and a bunch of ones. And so you'd have to look at these, and you'd have to notice that this one contains a polyatomic ion, so you'd circle that one. These two don't have any polyatomic ions, so you don't circle them. Alright, so that's the first half of your worksheet. The other part of your worksheet is just the stuff that we did up here, where you either have to give me the formula or give me the name, depending on what the question asks. If you have any questions, please email me or reach out to me in any way. I'll correct your homework and leave some notes on it so you can go back and check it when you're done. And we're getting done with almost all this stuff. We're just going to learn 1 or 2 more things, and we're going to take our test. So keep moving forward, guys. Good luck.